Everybody, this is Coach Tara, the helpful entrepreneur out of Holiday, Florida. Just sounded like I... Anyway, this might be a rambly video. I'm not sure, but I'll just warn you now. If you've got a really short attention span, go ahead and like and share it now. And come back and watch the rest of it later when you have time. Anyway, so I wanted to get to a call of action right away. Today I wanted to talk about effective communication. And I was thinking all day about this and all different kinds of ways that I'm seeing that things are being communicated and how I'm communicating and all the different subtleties that the communication is more than just your voice. It's more than just what you're saying out loud. It's more than just what you're hearing from other people. Communication is deeper than that. And today I've been wanting to start this beginner jogger thing so that I can add that to my E84 challenge and start jogging again. I had done it last year for a little while, and every time it got to this certain point, I just couldn't push through the point. I just couldn't do it and didn't do it. It wasn't that I couldn't. I certainly could have. I have the same resources that most people do in this world, and I did have the physical body to be able to handle it, and I could have done it. I didn't. And so the point of what I'm talking about is I've been thinking about and watching, and that getting ready to get ready stuff that all of us are guilty of. The most successful people aren't as guilty of it, though. They tend to make a decision and take some action immediately. And then it made me start thinking about inspired action and how that communicates to our world. And how the world is communicating to us. This is going to get a little esoteric. So what I decided was that I was going to set out with the intention of I begin today and I will act on inspired intention. That I will hear it and I will act on it. And I woke up this morning and I was kind of moving around and doing my little things that I do, my little ritual in the morning, and I let the dogs out and I was like, woof! Talking about hot! And immediately in my head said, oh, you're not going jogging this morning, forget it, you'll have to wait. And then I thought about how oftentimes at 2 o'clock in the morning I want to go out there and go for a walk, and sometimes I'll catch myself at least just standing out in my backyard just looking up at the sky. But I don't want to go jogging at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't. I want nothing to do with going jogging at 2 o'clock in the morning, so what was I to do? So I set my intention, like I said, the inspired action. I wanted it to be something that crossed my mind, let me get to it. And I talked myself right out of it first thing in the morning. And it was a very quick talk out of, I didn't dwell on it. And about an hour later, it just occurred to me. Go, now. And I threw on my sneakers, and I got the dog's leash on, got the baggie for his poopers, and went out there and did my first day of my jogging program that I'm starting. So I started. And what I was thinking about in relation to the communication thing that I've been thinking about since yesterday is what that communicated to the world about me and what that communicated to me about me. And that was get started and start moving in the direction, react to your desires with an inspired action, and what's going to happen is you just continually keep moving. It's kind of like a ripple effect or a spider web. Think of this. If you think of a spider web and you're at one point, at one of the cross points on the spider web, and all the other things in the world, the car, the people, the dog, the house, the plants, the tree, someone's garden, the flowers, the bees, the bugs, and you start thinking of yourself as on one cross point. And those other things are connected on that spider web at their own cross points. But every move you make affects everything around you. Okay? So imagine you make a positive move, something that feels good, like going out there and starting your first day jogging and counting in your head and getting your steps right, making sure you don't trip over yourself and make sure the dog doesn't take off on you. and you just keep moving, and then you come around the corner, and you're rounding the corner, and you're coming home now, And you've done that, and throughout that whole time you've been shaking the web up. And you've been affecting all the things around you. You've been communicating with everything in existence around you in the essence of the thing that you've just done. I'm going to let it sit for a second. Nothing that we do, nothing that we think, nothing that we write, talk about, doesn't communicate. We are unable to disassociate ourselves, no matter how much we seem to want to try. We are in communication consistently and constantly with the world. And if you are communicating the things that you want with the world, whether it's through your thought, it's through decisive action, inspired action, through what you write, everything in the world is being affected, in essence, by your positive motion, making everything even better. You could easily look at that the reverse way and talk about how we communicate with ourselves negatively. And when we communicate with ourselves negatively, we're still on the spider web of the interconnectedness of everything. And our movement, whether it's a good one, or let's not use the word good because that's kind of silly, whether it's a positive movement or a negative movement, in whatever form you wish to make the movement, it's affecting your world around you. You ever notice how when you... I remember when I was younger, we used to have stockings. And I remember having a job where I wore them, and I would go to put them on, and if a run happened in my stockings, I was pulling them up over my feet and onto my calves, that would usually signify or give me a signal that the rest of the day was going to go kind of like that. And the difference between being conscious of your communication and unconscious of it is whether or not it is a signal to how the rest of your day is going to go. Or whether it's just something that happened that morning on your way. The journey is everything. So, my advice, or whatever, is to think about communication. Think about the words you say to yourself, the words you say to other people, and also how you communicate through your actions, through your movements, through your emotions, big time, and develop something different for you. Because when you make a motion that's different than your comfort, and comfort doesn't mean it's good. Comfort does not mean that. Comfort is not always a flannel blanket and a warm fire and a cup of hot cocoa. Comfort could be dangerous. Comfort could be harmful. Comfort can stop you if you allow it to. So, I think my video is long enough, guys, and I'm super happy that I made it, and it's not as long and rambling as I thought. And thanks for listening. This is Coach Tara, the Helpful Entrepreneur. I encourage you to share this. Somebody out there might hear this, and this just might make some sense to them, even if it doesn't right now for you. So, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Bye.